Alright guys, so we are going to talk about SmackDown and the craziness that happened on last night's show, which, fun spoiler, I couldn't watch because our light went out. Thanks a lot, ECG. But hi, my name is John Andrew. I am a wrestling fan from Ghana, West Africa, and if you do like the content on this channel, then please do subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Let's talk about it. So last night's show kicked off with Randy Orton heading to the ring, but before he did so, he stopped at Triple H's desk to exchange a few words with him, and I think this was about Kevin Owens. And as he would get to the ring, no nonsense, all business, he would then state that that was indeed his intention to get a match with Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel. He called Triple H out, and then we saw that camera angle from Gorilla at Triple H's desk that we saw a few weeks ago, I believe, and at WrestleMania during the documentary. That was a pretty cool touch. I like that they are doing that as well. It's adding Triple H more and more into these storylines. But Triple H comes out and then tells Randy he's actually protecting him from Kevin Owens, which was quite interesting. But then after some back and forth, Randy even reminding Triple H that, hey, you are the same guy that broke into my house 15 years ago. Wow, we are getting old. That segment was 15 years ago. He clamored for a match with Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel, and he got it. But then Triple H said he hopes to God that he protects himself from here on out. And wow, interesting segment. Now there's a couple of things going on. I wonder how unhinged Kevin Owens is, because Triple H alluded to that. But here's the other thing, and a lot of people are pointing this out, and it's a bit of a theory out there. What if it's The Rock that's influencing Kevin Owens to do what he is doing? To look at this properly, I have had to look at certain elements in order for it to make sense. So we saw that look Kevin Owens had at Bash in Berlin when he lost the undisputed WWE Championship match to Cody Rhodes, his very close friend, after hugging him. And then it wasn't too long after that that Roman and Cody teamed up and faced off. So I've had to think through a lot of many different scenarios and possibilities that would make this Rock and Kevin Owens connection plausible, and I think I may have landed on one. Now, picture this. What if The Rock went to Kevin Owens maybe before or after his encounter with Roman and Cody whilst they were in the ring, and says, hey man, I know you don't like Roman, I know you don't like Cody teaming up with Roman, guess what? I don't like Roman too. Mind you, Kevin Owens had the most championship opportunities against Roman Reigns during his 1,316-day reign. He actually had 4 opportunities, and they all ended because of some screwy involvement of the Bloodline. So he is not very happy with them either. But the fact that Cody is also siding with them doesn't really help. And come to think of it now, Randy is also kind of shielding Cody from KO, and that's what caused their breakup as well. So what if The Rock capitalizes on this, then offers him a sort of deal that gives him some immunity? I'm kind of thinking of that storyline from 2012 where Big Show was offered some immunity from John Laurinaitis. He referred to it as the famous ironclad contract, which enabled him to stay on as long as he wanted. So what if it's the same scenario here? I don't know, it's kind of outlandish, it's kind of out there, but let me know what you think. Then we had Game 7 between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes with LA Knight as the special guest referee. I'm going to say this right out of the gate, I'm totally not a fan of that decision. I think that there needed to be a definitive winner between these two men. And for whatever reason, it's making LA Knight look bad because you're making him stick his nose into this business between these two athletes who have put banger after banger after banger together. It just doesn't make the most sense to me. I'm not, simply put, I love what WWE Creative has been doing over the last few years. This is one of the decisions which I really don't like at all. And there's been very few. And as anyone would guess, with the normal nuances and nonsense that comes with special guest referees, there was LA Knight missing a pin because he had been hit. There was LA Knight attempting to stop Andrade from executing a suicide dive, which no other referee would ever stop. Let's get that clear. And he delivered BFTs to both men and practically made the match a no contest because of what looked like ego. So it set up a triple threat match between the 3 men at Crown Jewel. Okay, but I still think there needed to be a definitive winner. I don't think that LA Knight should have been made special guest referee. So yeah, I'm just not with it. Then we had some women's action. You had Naomi going up against Candice LeRae. And these women put on a pretty solid match. I'm glad that Candice LeRae is getting a decent amount of TV time. I hope it increases as time goes on. I'm a fan of Candice LeRae from NXT. I never saw her independent wrestling run. That being said, Indy Hartwell got involved at some point, almost costing Naomi the match until Bayley stepped in and played equalizer. This led to Naomi getting the pinfall victory against Candice LeRae. Look, I think there is something there, a storyline which involves Candice LeRae which could be built up. So kudos to them for giving Candice more time, and let's see where it goes. I do think that Naomi and Bayley have some animosity that's going to explode at some point. It's not been teased, but I do think it's going to happen at some point, so we should keep an eye out for that. Then we had a tag team match to determine the new #1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships. You had DIY taking on the Motor City Machine Guns. This match was fun. MCMG came up with the victory, and they get to face the Bloodline until SIkoa's music hits and he comes out with the whole Bloodline. Nick Aldis gets involved, says he doesn't want the Motor City Machine Guns to squander their opportunity that they worked so hard for. And I think it was Alex Shelley that cut him off, but he said no. We can face them whenever we want, and they did the whole introduction, and this is why I keep saying SIkoa is one of the funniest characters in WWE today. He mimicked the Motor City Machine Guns after their promo. Pretty cool stuff. But anyway, this led to an immediate match between the Motor City Machine Guns and the Bloodline for the Tag Team Championships. Jimmy Uso got involved and took out SIkoa for a time until he got attacked from behind by Jacob Fatu, and then Roman Reigns' music hit, came out there, didn't wait for the beat to drop this time. They almost did that spot from 2 years ago where Roman waited for the beat to drop before he came out and attacked everyone who was his opponent in the War Games match, if you remember that. So as this chaos is going on, another person in a black hoodie and a ski mask shows up. Everybody's chanting heat. We know who it was. Main event, Jey Uso super kicked Tongaloa, got into the ring, super kicked Tamatonga, speared him, allowed Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley to get the pinfall victory and to secure the tag team championships for themselves. Now, this is what everybody is talking about, and this is what I'm getting to. So Jimmy comes out, meets with Jey in the middle of the ring, and you see what's going to happen, and they finally hug it out. And Roman is at the entranceway just looking at these two brothers, slightly conflicted, but starting to see the error of his ways. And I think that was the look that he conveyed, and I really appreciated that he did that. Now, this is an interesting take which a lot of fans have been having in the last few hours. I even got a question on it on TikTok, which is, did I feel like this was rushed? Yes and no. I see why it was rushed, because as I said in my Monday video reviewing Raw, I said that Jey Uso may need to kind of be like, okay, I'll kind of side with you, but I'm not cool with y'all, and then hug it out with Jimmy and with Roman inside the War Games match, akin to how Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair did it last year. But then on the other side, I think there's a few more story beats that they have to hit in the coming weeks of television time. There's a spoiler out there. I'm not going to disclose it. So if you want to stay away from that, do not search YouTube for what happens next week, because next week's episode is pre-taped since they will be in Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel. But from this perspective in the story, yes, Roman, Jimmy, and Jey are somewhat aligned, but now we need a fourth member, because War Games cannot be a handicap match. I mean, they can play it as long as they want, but they won't. We have to get the honorary Usos back, Sami Zayn, and I think that's going to be a little hard to convince Sami to do. Now, I think the recruitment of Sami is why they need a little more time to flesh things out, because Sami has experienced quite a lot of heartbreak at the hands of this version of the Bloodline. They turned on him at the Royal Rumble last year. He had that match with Roman, and then there was a tag team match at WrestleMania. And even though he and Jey patched up like Jey, he also wasn't cool with Jimmy and with Roman and with Solo. So I think it's going to be a little hard for them to figure out what's going on with Sami and how they can pull him back into the fold. But interesting weeks ahead. there's a build to War Games happening here, and I'm glad. I'm ready to see it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching this video. Check out this video YouTube is recommending. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I will see you in another one. My name is Andy, and I'm signing off.